You're listening to the Last Man In podcast. Covering Winnipeg hockey and the NHL.
Scheifele dances his way in. Scheifele scores! Ryan Wheeler finds the far corner. And the Winnipeg Jets win it in overtime.
Welcome back to Last Man In episode 158. Today we're talking everything that has to do with the Atlantic Division. So clearly there's going to be some anger as well as some arguing, because anytime there's Leafs involved, we decide to argue about it because that's what we do.
We don't agree. We agree to disagree.
Exactly. We also have some comments to talk about, and I think there's just a little bit of other hockey news to talk about as well. There's a little bit of stuff. So let's get started with the Atlantic Division right away, because this division last year was probably, in my opinion, one of the most surprising the way it turned out. Because the fact that I think preseason we all thought Tampa Bay and Florida would be there, and they weren't. And for the first time in 26 years, the Detroit Red Wings were not in the playoffs.
Good.
And for the first time in a few years, the Toronto Maple Leafs found themselves in the playoffs, and Ottawa went all the way to the conference finals. So it was a very surprising division. So it's going to be interesting to see what this division does this year. So I want to start off with probably the best team in the division, which is the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I so thought you were going to say Toronto.
No, we're saving Toronto for last.
Let's be honest.
She's being a general for now.
No. I have to go with my head when it comes to this.
Do you guys have? You want to pull up? One of you guys pull up Tampa Bay? What did they?
Cap friendly?
What did they do? I'm just thinking of bodies.
Sergachev.
What did they lose? What did they gain?
They lost Drouin, picked up Sergachev.
They signed Chris Kunitz. They signed.
They basically
Dan
re-signed
Girardi.
all their guys too, though. Yes, and they
So Dan Girardi and Chris Kunitz and Mikhail Sergachev.
And they signed Peter Budaj as their backup.
yeah. So the question is, do they feel that they're stronger now than what they were last year? Because losing Jonathan Drouin is a solid player. Like that's a good player.
Well, I guess obviously he's fantastic. But in losing Jonathan Drouin, I guess they just have faith in Braden Point. And who's the other youngster on that squad? There's another little buddy going on. Little buddy. If they're tinier than me. They're younger. That's it.
I don't know.
Howden? Am I thinking of Howden?
Brett Howden?
He won't make the team. Nope.
No.
You know what? By losing Drouin, I think they're just okay. They're okay losing him to gain in Mikhail Sergachev. Because now they have a top pairing for the next decade in Hedman and Sergachev if they play together.
And they have Hedman signed for a while as well, so it helps.
Are you guys not worried about their goaltending? I am.
No, because
I think Vasilevsky?
I think
He's pretty
Vasilevsky's
solid.
fine. And I think it's tough to be a rookie goalie going into a Stanley Cup final game.
Yeah.
Or into any playoffs when you haven't had that experience to play. And I think last year was a big... They wouldn't have gotten rid of Ben Bishop if they didn't believe in Vasilevsky.
That's true.
No, that's
definitely.
Fair. That's
and
fair.
especially for the price. What did they even get in return for Ben Bishop? Almost nothing.
It'd be interesting if there was a player transaction website for this. Damn it!
Great.
This is $1 million idea.
We're losing money by the second.
All I'm saying is
I need to learn how to code.
I get that player personnel surrounding the goaltending is different, but you look at Winnipeg last year; they were in the exact same position. They had Hellebuck, who played about 3/4 of a season and was really good, and they got rid of Pavlik and they gave Hellebuck the reins. They said, "Yep, he's good," and he stumbled. And now Tampa Bay's in the exact same spot where they had a goal.
Hold on, no, let him finish.
Did they make the playoffs last year with him? No, they didn't.
They almost did.
They didn't.
Who almost did or didn't?
Tampa.
Okay,
They
that's
didn't.
it. I'm confused.
So he's had a good year. So he very well could be better, but he also could be worse. And if he's worse, then I think it's going to hurt them.
Well,
I'm not saying he's going to be worse.
Oh, no.
I'm saying that they're taking a gamble. Because I'm sorry, Peter Budaj is not. He's not a backup that's going to save your season.
But I think Peter Budaj, it's basically if an injury were to occur with Vasilevsky, and maybe they weren't confident, Krisha Gulevskish, that guy, Ken Budaj...
Vasilevsky is gone.
No, he's gone.
He's in New York now.
What?
Yeah.
That guy
Guzleskus, yeah.
is where? Islanders.
Islanders.
Damn it. Okay, well, then is Budaj, do they trust him enough that if an injury were to occur, can he keep them afloat for 4 to 6 weeks, pending that injury is only 4 to 6 weeks?
Yes, he did it for the LA Kings last year.
Peter Budaj?
He was the only reason why the Kings were anywhere. He played very well for the Kings when he was needed last year. The other thing about, the reason why the Lightning didn't make the playoffs was because Ben Bishop couldn't stop a beach ball for the first half of the season. And they lost Stamkos, and they had other injuries out as well. So it wasn't all on Vasilevsky. And once he came in net, once Ben Bishop left, and minus Stamkos, once they started to get healthy, they almost made the playoffs. If Toronto didn't beat Pittsburgh on the last Saturday of the season, Tampa Bay they were going to make the playoffs.
And Toronto would
not have.
So
I'm not saying he's a bad goalie. I'm just saying it's too early to say he's a proven number one goalie.
I would take him over Connor Hellebuyck in a heartbeat.
That's fine, and you can.
Yeah.
Because his stats were good last year.
Yeah.
But he hasn't played a full season in the NHL as starter.
No.
But he's got to start somewhere.
You're putting an awful lot of stock in him, saying he's good enough. He might very well be good enough.
But the team in front of him is good enough, especially in the division that they're in. No, in any division they're in, Tampa is good enough to make playoffs.
Well, in this division, they're good enough to make playoffs. This division is not the greatest.
Most divisions, I'd say they're good enough.
Oh, yeah.
The only one they're not good enough to make, Pacific, obviously the strongest division in all of hockey. We've been over this.
Totally.
Yes. The
they
trade
only
was
had 3 teams with the worst odds for the Stanley Cup final this year.
Say that?
They only had 3 teams with the worst odds to win the cup this year.
For this year?
Yeah.
Who are the 3 teams with
Pacific?
Yeah.
Coyotes, Canucks, and Knights. They're all dead last.
Well,
200
get your money in,
folks. The trade was for Peter Budaj, Eric Cernak, and a 7th-round pick. And a conditional pick in this year's draft.
Eric Cernak's a defenseman, right?
Yes.
He played for Erie Otters. All right, well, I think he's probably going to go some seasoning in the AHL.
Yeah.
So
he's not.
Didn't their AHL team win? No, they didn't. Detroit did.
Because they win every second year.
Let me rephrase my question. If Vasilevsky's goaltending is subpar this year, is Tampa Bay good enough? Are they still okay?
Yes.
If he's average,
yes,
below average,
yes,
that's a bold move. I don't know about that.
In the division they're in,
Stamkos is getting hurt for 6 months.
Happens every year. If Stamkos is healthy for the entire season, if Johnson and Palat and Kucherov are healthy.
As if you named Kucherov 4th on that list. How dare you? Anyways, go ahead.
I'm a monster. What can I say?
Well, that's fine. I'm not disagreeing.
I will take them. I think they're going to win this division. I think they're going to be one of the top teams in the East, not the top team in the East, but they'll be one of the top.
I do too. I just think that I think their goaltending could be the thing that hurts them.
I just think they're strong enough in all facets. I don't think goaltending is going to be their issue, and
I'm not saying it's going to be a problem. I'm saying it could be their problem.
But it could be a problem for any team.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, that's a stupid argument.
Well, no, that's the same argument.
No. Hold on. First off, I want to answer Dan's question.
Most goalies have more than half a season of stock to look into. He doesn't. He has half a season. He played extremely well for half a season.
That's it. Half a season.
I'm just saying, you guys are putting an awful lot of confidence in him.
Hey, I didn't say anything yet. Greg's talking.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I'm saying it's an unknown. He could be fine. He could be fantastic.
I'm more on Greg's side, where even if they have below average goaltending, Tampa Bay is going to make the playoffs.
I think they'll make the playoffs if he has a 9-10 save percentage.
I'm not saying that they aren't. I'm not saying they're not going to make playoffs. I'm just saying goaltending is the thing to me that's a question mark.
I'm also with Dan, though.
I think their forwards and their D are fine. I think their goaltending is the question mark.
I'd like to see.
He has 90 career NHL games played. In that time, has a .260 save percentage and 260 goals against average and a 915 save percentage.
Yeah, not bad.
It's not bad. But again, it's for backup, so you're not necessarily playing top tier, top end talent at all times.
And that's also over 2 years,
That's 3 years.
That's a broad statement, though, because then most goalies. Who's top
but then if you look at his stats from the AHL, where he only played 37 games, he had a 917 one year and a 935 the other year.
Wait, how many games has he played in the A?
37.
And then he's played 90?
90 in the NHL. Yep.
How old is he?
He is 23 years old.
What the hell did he play before?
He played in the KHL for 2 years.
I just think
it
would be foolish to say that his progression might to think it might not be Rocky. It might not be. It might be fine. But it might not. He might struggle.
Like I don't want to look too much into KHL stats, but in his second season in the KHL, so 13-14, which he would have been, when was he born? 94. So he would have been 19, he would have been 19. He had 28 games played, had a .923 save percentage, and had 221 goals.
What team was he on?
That was for UFA Salavat Yula. Yeah.
All right, so there you go. A team I can't say I've heard of.
Yeah.
Because I was just gonna say, if it's like CSK in Moscow,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, the team that's
not.
like the owner of the league owns, you're like, oh, okay, all right.
Their top point scorer that year was Dmitry Makarov.
How many points?
40 in 54 games. Then their second.
And he had that save percentage.
Yeah.
Dang. They beat a team, what, 1-0 every game?
Pretty much.
Jeez.
This is the team that Nikita Filatov is on. For those who remember, Nikita Filatov, former Columbus Blue Jacket and Ottawa Senator.
There you go. Back in the day. That's making it.
Yeah. He was a good old 6th-round pick by the Columbus Blue Jackets. And if we want to dive even deeper to see kind of who they passed up on, Tyler Myers, Erik Karlsson, Lucas Spiza,
Which
he's
team
still
are
at
we
least
criticizing?
playing in the NHL. The Columbus Blue Jackets.
They're just ripping on the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, but
Oh, John Carlson?
You can do this every year for.
No, I want to have fun, okay? Let me have fun.
You're like,
Roman
one more
Josi?
name. One more after Roman. You make a wise decision.
Derek Stepan.
Oh, damn. This is pretty good.
Even Travis Hamonic as well.
I said one, Craig. All right, well, I think we've all decided. We're kind of split. Dan, how many points do you think Tampa's going to finish with?
I think they're going to win the division. I think they're going to have.
How many points? The winner of the division last year had 103.
Okay.
106.
What do you have?
105. Winning the division.
You guys don't have much faith in that division, but okay.
No, it's
Not many teams
it's the
get more than
competition
100.
of the division, Greg. Come on.
Yes, the competition of having to play Detroit
Buffalo.
4 times a year.
Montreal.
Yeah, exactly. Hell, I'll even throw Leafs in there, because let's be honest, they'll get 2 They shelled the Leafs last year 8-1. They're going to do it again.
It happens every year.
Yeah. I have them at 108, point-wise.
I know why he has them at 108, because someone's going to be a lot higher than that.
No, I'm not.
Oh, shut up. That's why we're saving Toronto till last. We'll find out, though. All right, who's the next team?
Florida.
Florida? Okay. I've heard... Okay, you know what? Actually, from the replacement, he sent me his predictions, and he says...
From the replacement?
Who's the
Matt
replacement?
Draper?
Yeah, Matt Draper. He texted me his thoughts on the division, and he said, and I quote, Florida equal hot trash. That is where I disagree with him. I think Florida will do much better.
They're cold garbage?
How many... They are...
They're lukewarm waste.
No, they are a hot balloon. They are a warm balloon. What do they call those? Hot balloon?
Hot
right?
air balloons?
Hot air. They are not a cold air balloon. They're a hot air balloon. They will not sit in a basket or stand in a basket in a field and go nowhere like a cold air balloon will. Cold air, you wouldn't go anywhere. Mitch Hedberg joke, classic. They are a hot air balloon and they will soar. They will soar to new heights. How many points did Florida have last year?
That's what I'm looking at right now. They finished the year with 81.
Yeah, well, I think they will win 7 more games than that.
95
6 and a
points.
half.
95 points?
I have them at 94 points.
You
They're
know
going
what?
to the playoffs.
I
want the rubber mice back.
I want to like them so badly,
That's what I'm doing.
and I liked them so much last year, and they let me down. And I
Have
think
faith, then.
I don't think their GM understood how the expansion draft worked because they lost 2 really good players.
2 guys
when they
equally-
only had to lose 1,
88 points. They gave up 88 points.
and they only had to lose 1 of the 2, not both. So
Who is their GM? Dale Talent?
talent. So I don't know.
Okay.
They have the makings to be a good team, and in the division that they're in, they should be on the better half of it. But I said that last year.
Remember they have that new up-and-coming guy, Lawson Krause. Oh, wait. They don't.
No, they don't.
They gave him to Arizona.
Yeah, they did. Okay.
I'm faithful
What do
in
I think
Florida.
they're going to finish? You picked 95 points.
I have 94, sorry. I have 94.
You know what?
95.
I
I got him. Playoff line for us, we predicted
like
90.
90. Actually, you know what? 94 sounds good. I'm going to agree with you. I think that's about where they're going to be.
Here we go. Greg's about to talk.
No, I'm not. Well, I'm
Yeah,
about
you
to
go.
talk. Okay, just by judging this team, if you just look
Do you
at
have
their
the roster?
If you look at their roster, they only have 10 forwards signed right now to NHL contracts.
Who did they lose? Riley Smith and Jonathan Marchessault.
And Marchessault.
For sure.
Yeah.
What about defensemen?
Well, and they lost Lawson Krause.
And Jaromir Jagr.
And Jagr.
Well, Lawson Krause was gone at the start of last year, so
They
that
lost
doesn't count.
UC Okinen. They lost...
UC Okinen was a buyout as well.
Yeah.
I think they lost.
Who'd they
sign?
sign? They signed Verbata and someone else.
Signed Ravine Verbata for 2.5.
Oh, and Dadnov's coming back.
And Dadnov's here for 3 years at $4 million per.
Dadnov's a KHL All-Star.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that alone will replace the 88 points, no problem.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Without question.
Yeah, because we all know that guys on Florida like to score a lot of points.
Are you being sarcastic?
Very.
Who had the most points last year?
And I think they're also losing Vanek. I think Vanek was there last year.
Yeah, it was for the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know what?
Get out of here.
Okay.
I'm faithful in Florida.
So
who do you got?
Who do I got what?
Okay, in D, who did they lose?
I don't think they lost anyone, but I'm curious to know if I'm kind of biased. I want to see Jared McCann step up to the NHL this year and prove me right about Vancouver being wrong in letting them go. Also, I'd like to see Jace Hawryluk get a chance with the team.
Jace Hawryluk didn't get a chance last year because in training camp or at the start in like exhibition games and whatnot in the big boy camp, I believe he broke his leg or like something like bad because he missed pretty much all of last year in hockey. I just don't remember for what exactly it was.
You still got Roberto Luongo for another century, half a decade actually, 5 more years.
I don't think he's going to finish the year as their starting goalie.
No, I think
anyway, they
James
got
Ryan
rhyme
will.
time, and he can hold it down. Because
hold
what's
it
he
down.
doing?
Hold it
down.
So just looking at this team and comparing to other teams in the division, they're weak. And last year they were bad because of Huberdeau injury, Barkov injury. It'll be interesting to see how they bounce back this year. Or I think it was Bukestad that was hurt. Regardless, they had a lot of injuries last year. I still don't see this team making playoffs. I think it's going to be a rocky year for them. Maybe a year that we won't see a coaching change, but we might see a GM change because we saw a coaching change last year for them. And I think they're obviously going to bring some rookies up. So just judging by what I see from them, like I have them at like 85 points.
Missing
86
playoffs.
points, yeah.
Okay.
They'll be better than they were last year, but they'll be around that 86-point mark in my opinion.
Okay.
I'm sticking with 94. I don't feel very confident about it, though. I want to believe.
I'm very confident.
I want to believe. They have a good team.
I had them higher, but I was like, you know what? I'll mark them down a peg. They're ready to do what Panthers do.
Oh, yeah?
Spread their wings and fly.
Yeah, that's what Panthers do.
Yeah.
Pounce. Damn it, I should have gone with the pounce.
Yeah.
It's
Next
better.
team.
Panthers don't.
The Boston Bruins.
Okay, additions, subtractions.
While they certainly have not signed perennial scorer,
Did they
David
even
Pastrnak
Yet.
if at all.
Rumor mill?
Oh,
Rumor has it.
Big signing. Paulie Postma D.
Yeah, that's true.
I think he
Don't
was
do
the
that.
only guy they signed.
Don't do
No,
that.
I'm serious. Who else did they sign?
The way you said it. Okay, he was never going to get a shot being a right-handed defenseman in Winnipeg because apparently they have the market on defensemen.
For the record, Paul Postma sucks. He's not an NHL defenseman.
Because, well, you're going to suck when you only get one NHL game every 4 weeks.
No, he was in the starting lineup for like the last 3 years for the Jets. Why? I don't know. He's terrible.
Who,
Okay, he's not terrible, but he doesn't do anything of value.
There you go.
He's there?
No,
Wow.
He's there.
I think that is probably
He's
the
there.
best way to evaluate Paul Postman's
He's there.
play.
He does nothing of value.
Except for the fact that he did score the first exhibition goal for the Winnipeg Jets.
Oh, and that's worth
Yeah.
6 years of
You
contract.
know what? Nick Antropov scored the first regular season goal. You know what happened to him?
I think he's in the
Who
KHL.
made the list?
Okay, so we'll get to kind of rumor mill with David Pastrnak first, but after this. But the question I have for you guys is, who did they lose in the expansion draft?
Defenseman.
Do you guys remember?
Slumko?
No.
Damn it, that was San Jose. Don't you? No, don't. Let's guess.
I want you guys to guess.
Dan's
It was-
cheating.
it
He's
was
using his
defenseman. I'm
laptop.
trying to think of his name. It was defenseman, wasn't it?
I don't know. Was it?
Why can't I think of his name?
Because a lot of people thought it was actually
Here, can I have a
Malcolm
hint? Did he
Subban.
only play for Boston in his career?
I don't know.
Oh, it's one of those?
Yeah.
You don't even know?
I don't even know. I don't remember. I thought it was Kevin Miller, but it wasn't Kevin Miller.
That's what I thought it was too.
It was their other defenseman, I think.
Clayton Stoner.
No, Clayton Stoner was
Anaheim,
on
dude.
Anaheim.
I don't know these things.
Oh, we're so good at our jobs. This is why
Colin Miller. That's who it was.
That's what it was. Colin Miller.
I
Oh,
Googled.
Dan, how big's your font on your computer? Look how big that is. Turn your screen for
You
a
can
second.
I wanna
it
see
from
this.
It's
a mile away.
like 40 font. Holy.
Why do you have it so
Because
big?
I like to save my eyes.
Your eyes are poor.
I don't know. I just never changed it.
No, keep it how
Dad's
you
the
want
80-year-old.
it.
He's
Keep
the
it how
80-year-old.
you want
Do
it.
you have
Dan.
your,
Don't
you have
change
your
it.
like font in your phone is like the biggest too, so you can be like you have to like scroll up to read a text
No,
message.
he does it on Twitter so his neighbor Ernie can read it
Yeah.
from like even if he's in the basement, he's scrolling and he's on the phone with Ernie.
Oh, there
I
you
guess
go.
he can't be on the phone because he doesn't have a house phone. Wait, Dan, do you have a house phone?
No.
Oh,
Who
okay.
pays for a house phone?
Revolution.
That's the answer I'm looking for
Okay.
because Dan's like, yes, of course I have a house
So,
phone.
so Boston didn't make the playoffs last year.
Okay.
Which
Yes,
is
they did. They lost to Ottawa in the first round.
sorry, you're right. They did make playoffs.
They
last year.
barely made it, but they made
barely
it.
made playoffs last year. I totally forgot they were even there because they were that disappointing
Yep,
and
that
they were
sounds
that
right.
absent while they were there.
How many points did they have last year?
They finished with, I'm going to say 96. 95. They finished with 95 points. Okay. Regardless, their big question mark is with their young forward in David Pastrnak, and rumor mill is going off that he could actually be moved because they can't come to a contract deal right now. And it is interesting, but they have right now $10 million in space. And the shocking thing is I don't think Pasternak's asking for $10 million. What do you think's reasonable for David Pastrnak?
How much did he make, or how many points last year?
Let me look.
He had 70 points, 34 goals.
Yeah.
The year before, he had 26 points.
Well,
So really, he's had one very good year.
okay,
Sounds like another holdout restricted free agent.
Honestly, if I'm Boston, I go for a bridge deal. I don't blame them.
that's gonna get you.
I don't blame them. Why pay him $8 million right now when he's done it once? Let him do it 2 or 3 more times and then pay him. If he's going to do it. Right?
Well, going rate at 70 points.
I'd give him 2 years, like $5 million a year maybe. And then after that, see what happens.
I think that's a fair deal.
And maybe
that
he
would
wants,
also.
maybe he wants $7 or $8 million right now.
I was gonna say 7.5 is what it sounds like. We'll go. The going rate for guys who hit 70 points can easily ask starting be like the lowest I'm going to make is 6.5, and then depending on who's your GM, you can go 6.5 all the way to 10 according to Draisaitl. Right?
Yeah,
We've
exactly.
been through this. So, first number that popped in my head, I really like that bridge deal that Dan said. 2 years, like 2 year 10 total. But if I were giving him term, I'd probably go for like top end 7.5, low end 6. And
He's 21 years old right now, so.
Bridge deal then. I like the bridge deal, but then again, the bridge deal seems almost like a thing of the past with a lot of teams now.
Yeah.
Where they just jump right to it. Mm-hmm. But the bridge deal could also pooch you because who just signed a bridge deal? This offseason, someone just signed a bridge deal.
I don't know.
Was it Nashville? We signed someone to a bridge deal? Never mind.
Regardless.
Either way. Greg, what do you think?
I don't really like the outlook of their team, to be honest. They have 3 aging centers in Bergeron, Krejci, and Backus. All very good centers. However, I'm still don't understand why they got Backus, in my opinion. Like, I don't understand what that brought to their team. It brought a depth, like, it brought a guy that can play big minutes for a lot of money that's not playing inside your top 6. Maybe he is. Maybe he's there to help depth out because they did lose David Krejci for a good portion of the season last year. But regardless of that, I don't know where he fits in on that team, and I didn't know where he fit in on that team when he was signed. I don't really like the outlook of their team right now. They're doing a lot of entry-level guys are coming into that lineup now. They've got question marks everywhere, including defense. You know, Torrey Krug's probably the one bright spot there, maybe Kevin Miller. But other than that, I don't really, or I guess Brandon Carlo as well.
Charlie McAvoy is brand new. He played, I guess I don't even know if he burnt a year of his contract by playing in the playoffs. He did?
Yeah.
Okay, well then they burnt a year of his contract, but he's still a rookie. He looked solid when he did play. But again, all of their defensemen, either they're super defensive or super offensive. There's no almost no middle ground in a lot of them. And Torrey Krug and Charlie McAvoy, well, Charlie McAvoy's pretty well rounded, but Torrey Krug's a tinier guy, so I don't know if you can. Not that now is the time to have tinier guys, but. Is he your face of your franchise defenseman? Torrey Krug? I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so. So
I don't think they have the face used to be Chara, but Chara's done.
He's
once this season is over, I think he's done. He'll be 41 at the end of this season.
Is his contract up?
Yeah, his contract's up at the end of the year. He's still only making $4 million, which really
you could keep signing to that.
I wouldn't.
Well, no, but I mean,
I don't think he's that valuable anymore. Just with the speed of the game, he can't keep up. That reach used to be dominant when he could keep up, but he's just not there anymore. So they have a bunch of question marks. Obviously, you know where the goal scoring is going to come from. You know Brad Marchand's going to be there. If they get a signed Pasternak, he's going to be there. But I just don't think they have the depth that they once had when they were going for cups and when they were having these. 2011 and 2013 when they were going deep into the playoffs. I just don't think they're that strong anymore. But it also helps when you have a generational goaltender in Tuukka Rask. So if he plays Vezina-esque hockey all season, this team could be in the top of the division. And that's all it takes. That's how good he can be.
I don't have any faith in their defense whatsoever.
Yeah, but if you cannot ride a hot goalie all year,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can ride an average goalie with a decent team into playoffs.
You can ride a hot goalie all year, yes. I just don't think they're going to.
I'm going 88 points for them.
Boston, 88?
Yeah.
10?
80.
Holy piss.
I don't know. I don't think they're very good. If they don't sign Pasternak, they don't have a hope. Even if they do sign him, I don't think they're very good.
Okay.
What do you got? Boston at 91.
Okay. So just on that threshold.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think there's too many other good teams.
Okay, let's move to Buffalo.
Do we have to?
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll talk about them quickly.
God, they're so questionable. There's so many, you look at, they have aging guys, they have young guys. They're just all over the map. And who's their goalie? Robin Leonard?
Yeah.
I don't really
trust him. What do you make of that, though? I don't look at this team and see playoffs. I look at this team and see a mixed bag.
Yeah.
I don't really know. You kind of look at them, you don't really know what you're.
They just brought back Jason Palmanville. What is this team trying to accomplish?
But who'd they lose?
Tyler Ennis.
Yeah.
And
defenseman?
Marcus Foligno.
Yeah.
They both to Minnesota?
But they did get Marco Scandella. They did get Nathan Beaulieu.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, but still, sign Benoit Pouliot.
It's a mixed bag of just weird.
It's a mixed bag of...
they have Eichel and then...
I think they're on the right track, but I don't think they're there yet. I think their D got better, but I still don't think their D is very good.
They're trying to do patchwork. When they can just let's let her go for a bit, redo the basement.
I don't think they're terrible, but I don't think they're good.
I actually, looking at their D, I don't mind it. Especially when you have Nathan Beaulieu, who I think is a top 4 defenseman, Marco Scandella and Rasmus Ristolainen, who's probably going to be your top pair. Then you're probably going to do Beaulieu and Bogosian. Then you still have Josh Georges there as well.
Do you know what the problem I have?
That can soak up some big minutes.
Ristolainen and Scandella is a second pair on any good team, not a first pair.
So basically, that would be
the combination of the two. A first pair, I don't think so.
Well, I agree with your statement. Second team,
a very good second pair, yes, but a first pair.
Ristolainen's pretty good.
He's good.
Ristolainen would be say if they're pick a guy to play on your top line. I'm taking Ristolainen over Scandella. I think they're both solid defensemen.
Oh
anyways.
no, they are. I just don't think it's a good. I don't think that should be your top pair.
Okay.
That's fair.
That's my...
Any other statements on Buffalo? Because I totally agree with Greg. We're mixed bag. I don't know. Any night they can dazzle me, but most nights I'm just 3-2 victory or 3-2 loss.
I'm not expecting them to be very good, but I also, for some reason, think that they could surprise people and be better than people think.
Okay, points.
I'll say 76.
76? You gave them worse than Boston?
Yeah.
You just said... They could surprise
you. But I don't think they're going to. But I had that feeling that they might.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to, though.
All right.
I think they still got to work up.
Okay. I have Buffalo at 86 points.
86.
Yep.
86.
Okay, I think Buffalo is one of two things. They are
No playoffs, Dan. Come on.
Yeah,
They are
that's pretty
making-
damn close.
they are turning this team into something, but they need more out of the guys that are on the roster. They need more out of Ryan O'Reilly, who did have played decent last year. They need more out of Kyle Pozo. They need more out of Vander Kane. Vander Kane needs to start playing like he
Is he even going to be
Wants
there
to
at
be
the
there.
starting of the year?
That's another question. I don't like the depth on this team. I don't think they have much for depth. Not having Zemgus Girgensons. Right now, they need to sign him. Having Jack Eichel, probably the third best young player, is stellar. He's a very, very solid hockey player. So
You build around that.
exactly, and I think they have to do a better job of that. I think it might be time to start looking beyond the Matt Molsons and the Evander Kanes and trying to find guys that are going to work with Jack Eichel. I still don't know what Sam Reinhart is. He hasn't really proven anything in his NHL time. And then you look at the D, I think the D is starting to take form, especially when you've got young guys on that defensive core like Nathan Beaulieu and Rasmus Ristolainen. They're getting there, they're just not there yet. And I think that that's the biggest problem. And then you have to look at in net and you have to say they don't have the experience there, I think, to take them anywhere this year. I wouldn't be surprised if this team at least does something during the regular season. Gets a couple big wins, starts to impress, and starts to look better as the season goes on. But I think a slow start's going to hurt them. I think they're going to start slow, and I think that's going to end up in them being second last in this division. And I'll have them at 81 points.
All right, Buffalo.
You guys
done.
are making me seem like I'm being really ruthless on this division.
But
I don't have much faith in some of these teams.
but there's some divisions you just look at it and you're like,
don't.
there's clear cut not good teams in this
Yeah.
division, and there's clear cut, we kind of all agree on these teams. We know they're going to be what they are, good or terrible. Next
Detroit.
team.
Detroit.
You know what? I'm going to use what.
Do you just want to give your point total? Because if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
Yeah, that's a great point. 75. Thanks for saving me, Greg.
71.
While we're in the presence, is that a Shanahan or a Datsy?
I got that when I was a child.
Shanahan!
Not a fan, yes.
Whoa!
I just
There's a Shanahan Detroit jersey hanging in the corner. I can look at it
Okay,
right
you know
now.
what? 71's harsh. I'll say 72. 75.
Don't even change it then. Don't even do that.
It sounds.
You gave them 3 extra.
I think
2.5
they're going to be the
wins.
worst team in the division.
Guys, am I the only one seeing them score again over 100 points? It's Detroit. Are we
Yes.
being serious? Yes. I'm kidding.
Greg, don't even do that to me. Hold on. This is the only team that Steve Ott becoming a coach hurt them. It hurt them. He could contribute.
This team, not only are they over the salary cap right now, which they are, by $3.9 million. Granted, they do have Johan Franzen to go on.
Who are they spending their money on?
Oh, do you want me to start on...
Oh,
Mike
wait,
Green,
hold on. I
Danny
just have
DeKeyser.
one question. Is Larkin still on a rookie? Or did I miss
He's
it?
still on an ELC, yes.
When is his contract?
This year.
At the end of this year.
No.
And the only money they have coming off the books is Riley Shahan with $2 million.
At the end of this year?
Yeah, but they have Mike Green coming off at the end of this year.
Oh,
so
no, that's what I'm talking about.
That's the money that's going towards him.
But then they're still over the cap with a team that I think they're in their 2 or 3 years of they have.
They're
to rebuild.
hanging on to it.
They have to rebuild. They don't have a choice.
What rebuild? Their AHL team just won the championship. What are you talking about, Dan?
Here's the problem. They have so many loaded contracts on this team from guys like Mike Green, Nicholas Kronwall, Jonathan Erickson, Trevor Daley, old guys that just are making too much money at this point in time.
One of them they hasn't even hit the ice with Detroit equipment on yet.
Yes.
And Trevor Daley.
Mm-hmm. The only contract I don't mind in this group is Danny DeKeyser's. It doesn't hurt them at $5 million. But they need to get better. It's that simple. They're not good enough right now. And they're getting too old, and they need to cycle in some of these young players. Yes, Anthony Manta's a talent. Yes, Dylan Larkin's a talent. But at the end of the day, they need to make these moves to adjust to get better. They don't have, I'm going to wreck his name, but Andreas Anastasiou signed right now. He's still an RFA, so they need to figure out what their plan with him is, because he's shown in the 1.5 seasons he's played in the NHL that he belongs there. And they can have a really good, young, fast line if they have
Double A.
Onathiseu with Larkin and Mantha. That could be a line, and that's a very strong line. But they need to continue cycling guys in. I don't see this team being very good. I still don't know what their goaltending situation is going to be like. Is Mrazek still an issue? Is Jimmy Howard going to be their guy at 33? I'm not really sure what their plan is in net, and that's going to be a problem. Now, last season, they finished with a total of 79 points. I'm going to go with that again this year.
79?
I don't think they're any better than what they were last year, but I also don't think they're any worse. So I'm going to go with 79 and go kind of what they got last year.
Okay.
Now let's go to the Canadian teams. Let's start with the good old Ottawa Senators, who finished second in the division last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll start with Cam. What do you think of this team?
Oh man, this team is.
Are you guys gonna give me shit again like you did last year?
Yep. Totally.
I don't think
You
Ottawa's,
guys gave me crap
I
about
don't
them
think-
even making the playoffs. They were a goal away from the Stanley Cup final.
Yep.
I don't think. First off, I'm not backing down from what I said.
I'm
with
just
Ottawa.
saying.
However, what I will say with Ottawa, it's a coin flip. It is two. It's like they're either gonna amazing or the other side like ah! Like it just depends on who shows up. I think they're gonna do amazing. I think they're gonna do good. I'm not piggybacking off what Dan said last year. They just showed me a few things that I guess I needed to be seen. So I would just stick with Ottawa. I do not. If it's going downhill, I won't be shocked at all. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying my number and getting out of it.
Okay.
98.
98.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're a good team. I think they proved that last year. I think they're in this division. I think they're one of the best teams. I'm not saying that they're one of the best teams in the league. I'm saying in this division, I think they're one of the better teams. I'm going to go 102, second place. They finished second in the division last year.
Okay.
Okay.
Tell me how they got worse.
They didn't. They actually got better than what they were last year.
No,
In my
I'm
opinion.
not. I'm not. Oh, they got better?
They got better. As much as I hate him, as much as I think he's just a rat bastard, Alex Burrows is a guy I'd want on my team.
I thought he was going to say that Dion Phaneuf actually wasn't terrible last year. Because you know what? Dion Phaneuf actually wasn't terrible last year.
I was actually going to get to Dion Phaneuf. I was
He
going to
wasn't
get
terrible.
to
No, he wasn't.
His
terrible.
contract
You
is
have a
so
look
ridiculous.
of genuine surprise on his
But he
face.
was actually not too
He
bad.
wasn't terrible. He was okay.
But as much as I dislike Burrows as a player, I think he's a guy that this team fed off of and needed, and I think he was a big part of that push last year. The biggest thing that I noticed with bringing on the James Bond villain and bringing on a guy like Mark Crawford as well is they clearly got the most out of their players. For the first time in about 5 seasons, Dion Phaneuf looked like the Dion Phaneuf that was on the cover of NHL 09. That was the talent that he was
Because he was on the
bringing to
second line where he could they optimized his effectiveness to a penalty, to minutes played.
Exactly.
And that's what Dion Phaneuf needed.
The other thing, too, that I really liked was Erik Karlsson looked more than just the best defenseman in the league. He looked like one of the best players in the league, like top 3 players in the league last year. And I think that was huge. I think Craig Anderson showed up last year and showed that he has a lot of game left. And I think that they're going to have to depend on that a little bit, depend on Craig Anderson a bit. But regardless of that, this coaching staff, along with this team, has bought in together that they can win, be successful, and can surprise people. And that's what they did last year, and I can see them doing it again.
Points.
96.
Okay. While we're on Ottawa, actually, unfortunately, I don't know what he was. He was GM or not acting GM anymore.
He wasn't the GM anymore.
I think he was like vice president.
Either way, within the organization, Bryan Murray passed away this week after quite a lengthy battle with cancer. I'm not sure what type of cancer he had, but he did pass away. And everyone had something to say about this, but I'll just even use a coach in the division who worked for Bryan Murray, Mike Babcock, when he worked for the Ducks. He said Bryan Murray was a guy anyone would love to work for. And then, I'm not sure who said this, but someone in the hockey world said by Bryan Murray being out of hockey now, we take a step backwards in hockey because he's a guy you want. He makes the sport better. He makes everything around him better.
Yep.
And it is a big loss to the hockey world. He was awesome. He never shied away from any question either, like in media. And apparently, like any story you hear, like obviously, like I only hear it because I listen to a bunch of podcasts. But like where Bryan Murray, say if you were like a new reporter, or you were just like nervous, or like say if you never did like you've never done sports for like you're like the gossip reporter, but they sent you go do sports. Like Bryan Murray would be off to the side with you and be like, "Oh no, I'll take one-on-one time with you. That's no problem. Take your time. Do what you need. Let's do this." And like that's what I heard about Bryan Murray. Just a genuine person. It's a role model that we can all look up to. A person that we should all strive to be. A better person, basically. He's fantastic, from what I saw.
Yep.
And from what I heard.
And was a very good hockey person. Got a lot out of his players, and his players showed up and played for him. They wanted to play for him.
Yeah.
You don't get to keep world-class talent like Daniel Alfredsson for his entire career, and then have him leave and then come back and be honored if there isn't something there, right?
Yeah.
So, it's the same with Canadians, like the Montreal Canadiens. As much as I hate them because I'm a Leaf fan, you have to respect what they brought. And I don't think Ottawa would be where they are as a franchise without Bryan Murray.
Oh, by no means.
And he did a lot for that city and did a lot for that team. And hopefully, it won't happen, but hopefully when they get a new arena, there's some sort of tribute to Bryan Murray there. Whether it's, I don't know, whatever it's going to be called. No, whatever it's going to be called, like the Bryan Murray Arena powered by Gatorade or whatever, whoever wants to make it, right?
Yeah.
So
he brought a lot to the hockey world.
He did, and he brought a lot to that franchise. So it is tough, but I think it's time to move on.
Okay.
To the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
And the tire fire that is.
Greg, stick to your own advice. We've already complained about Montreal enough.
It's true. We've every podcast we've crapped.
But now
on.
is the time to do it.
No,
You
it's
know
a
what?
preview.
Hold on.
It's a preview.
Greg, can I preview Montreal?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, hold on. All right.
They got worse.
Greg, this is my preview.
Okay,
Cameron's
sorry.
preview. Okay. Have you ever seen the opening scene in Dark Knight Rises? Where there's an airplane and then another airplane is flying above?
Yes.
And then it come to take Bane and like that one guy? What do they do to the rest of the airplane?
They let them die.
Yeah, and how
They
do
let
they
it crash.
die? They just
There's no
fall,
wings. There's no wings.
and
There's
all you
no-
hear is wind and Montreal this season. Montreal 79 points. That's
Wow.
all I'm saying about Montreal. I'm done with Montreal. Oh, Carey Price. There's no one else. They're all gone. The better, greener pastures.
I'm going to give them 86 points, and I'm going to say 10 of those are Carey Price on his own.
Oh, we can only steal 5 games of the season?
Well, I'm saying he's going to steal at least 5 games. Like, minimum.
Oh,
10.
you're staying safe, though.
I-
At least 5.
I don't think they're very good. I think they're a lot worse. When did they sign Alex Hemsky?
What's that?
When did they sign Alex
Doesn't
Hemsky?
matter.
No, but I'm just...
Is he
no.
going? He's the extra bolt holding him in for that
I-
last second where they all die.
I think their D is really bad. I think they signed all these guys that just to patch it up and make it look good, and I don't think it's going to be good. Like, they signed Mark Streit, they signed David Schlemko, they signed Carl Alsner, who... They made such a big deal to Carl Alsner this year because the free agent class was that bad. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he's not a top pairing defenseman, I don't think. He's a good second pairing
Everything they did made him step backwards.
And they lost Radulov, which I think is going to hurt. I mean, Plekanec is basically useless at this point. He does nothing. Pacioretty's their best player, and he's good, but not.
He's a 30-goal scorer who doesn't score for like 17 games at a time. What the hell kind of scorer is that?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be terrible because of Carey Price, but they're not going to be good. They're not making playoffs.
Carey Price is a type of, or not Carey Price. Pacioretty is a type of scorer that when he's on like a 15-game skid, he's like, oh, I'm just trying to work through it. When Blake Wheeler's on like a 6-game skid of goals, he's like, oh, I'm doing as much as I can to get through it. I'm working hard. I'm staying at late shooting. I'm showing up early to practice. And then there's Pacioretty who's just, yeah, I'm working through it. I don't give a shit. He's not like that, but like, it's just, come on. 79. I'm sticking. That's it. I'm not going to say
Down to
anymore.
86.
Greg?
there's been something that I've been wanting for forever, and I got a glimpse of it once, and that was Montreal being terrible. I've never seen it. They've always been just there and around. Then one year they finished third last, and they got the opportunity to draft Alex Galchenyuk, one of the best prospects. And what have they done since finishing last? It wasn't just, oh, this was their bad year, they're going to retool. Not just that. They have taken the best analogy I have is it's like Titanic. When they're trying to save the boat and they lock off everything, like they're just trying to save each level as the water's rising, they're trying to save it level by level, but little do they know that the hole is so big that they can't actually save the boat. Mark Bergevin's still in denial. He's the captain of the boat and he's like, it's not sinking. We're fine. We're totally fine. We're golden. Telling the people at lunch, at dinner, it's going to be fine. It's going to be all right. We're fine. There's no problems. There's problems. There's lots of them.
He's also the guy that at the draft last year said, we're not trading PK Subban.
Exactly.
And traded PK Subban 2 days later.
Here's the problem I have
3
with
days
this.
later.
Is I can't have nice things. Leaf fans can't have nice things. So Montreal is going to somehow, off the back of Carey Price dragging them there, they're going to make playoffs.
No.
Because the hockey gods hate Toronto fans.
Nope.
That's why.
Nope.
They're not a good team.
They're not.
Toronto had better teams than this in 07 and 08, and they missed, 06 and 07, and they missed by a point. No, not these Montreal Canadiens. Not them. No, they'll make it by like 3 points off some bullshit, and they're gonna make it. They're gonna sneak in with 93 points. And you know what's probably gonna happen, even though I have Toronto having more points? They're gonna somehow knock Toronto out of the playoffs by getting in off some BS offside review call, because that's what hockey is. Bullshit, and it's the Montreal Canadiens, and the roster is terrible. Okay, maybe it's not terrible, but
if this happens, I can't wait till Greg's reaction.
I almost would take. I think I would take 6 or 7 of the other teams' rosters right now in this division. So that means almost every single team, other than maybe Detroit's, right now, than Montreal Canadiens. I would take almost every other one. And I'm on the fence about whether or not I'd rather have Detroit's roster or Montreal's roster. I'm on the fence. Jonathan Durant and Alex Galchenyuk swinging.
I'd rather have Detroit's roster with Montreal's goalie.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Montreal's goalie. That's Carey Price. He's a difference maker.
93 points because reasons.
Okay. Wow.
That's generous.
Wow. Holy.
I hope it's less. I need it to be less, but it's not going to be.
It's not going to be. We know it too. We know it.
Well,
you know what's going to happen, actually? I just want to add to Greg's misery. If Toronto... Now, when? Toronto make playoffs, okay? We'll say they make second in their division.
And they play Montreal?
In the playoffs, and then Montreal takes them in the playoffs.
I'm sorry, but
Price is like, I'm here! I am God! Ah! And he comes down in a beam of light every game.
We already know that they're going to win. Whenever Toronto plays Montreal, those are free wins for Montreal. Because Toronto just can't beat them. They haven't beat them in forever.
Montreal is in their head.
It's the same it's the same as the Calgary Anaheim thing. It's just one of those things that will never end. Until that ends, they won't stop haunting my dreams. Regardless. Let's go to Toronto now.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Are we going to leave you for last?
We're leaving me for last.
Toronto only got better. They only got better. They proved everyone, all the haters, wrong. Can I borrow your sunglasses for a moment?
Yeah.
For just you guys. It's too busy blocking out the hater, Dan. Hater. Just kidding. Dan didn't hate him at all. Toronto, 102. Second in their division. Yeah, they're doing it.
Okay.
That's it? Not even like analysis? All right.
I don't need analysis. They got Patty Marleau. They're so good now that they're like, JVR could be on the fourth line now. Like, they're so good.
I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to say that the Patrick Marleau deal will look fantastic this year. Slightly less fantastic the year after.
Right, they're going to sign
downright horrible the third year.
They're signing Joe Thornton to a 2-year deal at the end of next year, and they're winning the cup up in the Mimco. It's happening.
Needless to say,
they're also going to be dealing Patrick Marleau in the third year of his contract.
I think he's going to help them this year. One player I like that they got is Dominic Moore. I think he's a really good fourth line guy.
And he knows that he's a fourth-line guy,
Really
too.
good. I mean, it's going to depend. Are Bozak and Van Riemsdyk going to be on their roster come opening night?
Doesn't matter. They don't help.
Well, they do.
Bench him. Trade him. Out.
I mean, their forwards are great because their three best forwards are still getting better. So, I mean, you can't really argue with that. Their D is good. Their D is my question mark for them. I feel like their D could be like I was saying with Tampa, I feel like their D could be the thing that potentially hurts them. If it's not, if they don't get...
Whoa. You're telling me Ron Hainsey isn't a top pairing defenseman?
Exactly
he will
what
be
I'm
when
saying.
he plays with Morgan Riley. You know what's happening, Greg.
Exactly
You told
what I'm
me.
saying.
That's exactly what's happening.
I feel like Toronto's defense, they need to get everything out of the players that they have to make it work, which they very well could. But I feel like that's what it's going to take.
Okay, points, Dan.
But
go.
Their goaltending's good. I think they'll finish with 97 points, third, make playoffs.
97. Okay.
I have a question for Greg once
That's
he's
up from
done
last
what
year,
he's
right?
going to talk about.
Once I'm done, what I'm going to talk about. Okay.
97 was more than they had last year, right?
Yeah. They had 95 last year.
Yeah, they'll go up. Extra game.
1 game.
Okay.
Extra game.
So here's where I am with the Leafs. This is the start of, if they don't make playoffs, it's a failure of a season. Period. That is where they are in their rebuild. Last year showed that they not only belong there, but they need to be there. If this rebuild is going to work, they need to be there every year. I am still apprehensive about this lineup. I'm still apprehensive about what this team's going to be like, but I have to have faith that they're going to still progress every single year. This is probably the most telling season that they're going to have, because it's the last year that we'll probably see Bozak and Van Riemsdyk on this roster. It'll be the last time that William Nylander is making less than $1 million a season. And it could... If they don't make playoffs this year, there's going to be changes. Slight changes, but there's going to be changes. And they need to be there. And I fully believe they'll be there. But the question marks I have, the biggest question marks is, can Connor Brown score 20 goals again? Can Nazem Kadri put up 30 goals again while being one of the best shutdown centers in the league? Can they get that out of their players again? Can Mike Babcock get the most out of their players night in, night out? The one thing that's going for them is the month of October for them last year wasn't very good because they had Frederik Andersen who couldn't stop a beach ball. If Frederik Andersen comes into this season like he played throughout March and April and February, they're probably going to achieve more and be better than what they were. But their season lives and dies by the consistency of their goaltending. I think they'll pass with defensemen. I think Connor Carrick is going to get better this year. Jake Gardiner and Morgan Riley are going to continue to form into fantastic defensemen. I don't like Ron Hainsey there. I think Nikita Zaitsev's only going to be better. Now, they put Alexei Marchenko
On waivers
today, which... I wasn't crazy about the signing in the first place, so I don't think it's really going to hurt them. But the biggest questions I have is a guy like Jeremy Brayko going to come onto this team if, let's say, JVR goes? Is Travis Dermott ready to make the step up and come and play with the big boys? They have a few guys down in the minors that can make that jump and could actually fill in spots. Kasperi Kapanen, where's he going to land? He was one of their best players all playoffs last year, and are you going to take out a guy like Nikita Soshnikov, who is still a very solid player? They have a lot of question marks and a lot of guys fighting for spots that it'll at least make it interesting. They were the most fun team to watch last year, and I don't see that changing this year. I don't.
Before you say your points,
Yes.
their draft pick this year, Timothy Liljegren. Going into last year, he was ranked in like the top 5,
Yeah.
like at the end, top 5 draft. They drafted him. Do you think he makes a team? If not, where does he
I
go?
totally forgot about that.
Because he would
I think-
obviously be bottom pairing, but
I think I'd love him to be on the team, but I don't see that happening right away. They don't need to rush him. He was like, that was best case scenario. Like I said it when they drafted him, that was best case. I was so happy when they drafted him.
I was never been so happy for someone to get, what's that kissing disease? Or the
Mono?
Mono?
I've never been someone so happy to get mono. Because if he didn't get mono,
He wouldn't
he
be in
would have, no way. He
Yeah,
wouldn't have
he
dropped
would've-
out of the top 10. Not a chance.
Dallas probably would have taken him at 3. regardless.
Thank you, Mike.
Or Colorado would have taken him at 4.
Yeah.
That's probably what would have happened.
100%.
Regardless of that, I think the biggest thing, at least from what I can tell, is what Toronto will want is they'll make that decision. If they believe he can play at some point in the NHL this year, they'll make him play in the AHL. But if they feel that he needs another year, that he's going back to Sweden.
Not to Niagara in OHL, who have his rights.
I don't think they need him this year, though.
I don't think they do
they're
either,
fine.
but
Okay.
that Marchenko waiver makes me wonder if they're going to entertain the idea.
That's the first thing. When I saw that on the ticker today, it's like Alexei Marchenko waived by Toronto.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's
Could be.
opening up a spot for him. Go ahead, Greg. Points.
98.
So playoffs.
So playoffs.
Okay.
I don't see this division I still Montreal's still dangerous in my opinion, just because it's fucking Montreal. But other than that, I think it's gonna be Tampa Bay, and I think it's gonna be a clusterfuck underneath it, essentially.
I think this is the weakest division in the league, and I'm not saying that. Let me put it this
They
way:
don't have enough top end teams.
the Pacific has two or three of the worst teams in the league, but they also have 2 or 3 of the best teams in the league. Whereas the Atlantic has a lot of teams that aren't very good, and then a few teams that are pretty good but not elite, and then one cup contender.
Yeah.
So to me, it's the weakest division in the league.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
But
I agree with that.
I think Tampa, Ottawa, Toronto make the playoffs, and I think that's it. I think the 2 wild cards come from the Metro.
How great would a Toronto Ottawa series be, though?
We almost had it.
We all want it. That's what
only-
it comes down to.
You know what? Yeah, next week you already know where I'm going with this, but my want for at the end of this year, Toronto, Ottawa meet in the playoffs, and in the Metro, different night. Different night, Gary. Pittsburgh, Philly.
Okay.
Come on, give me
we go.
dueling nights of that. That's the best series you can watch. You know?
Okay.
They already don't like
The
each
only
other.
3 teams I have confidence saying are good teams in this division are Toronto, Ottawa, and Tampa. Every other team,
I think we all agreed on that, right?
Yeah.
I picked
We
Florida
all
to
have
have a
those
higher
teams in
point
the top
total,
end,
but
right?
I think Florida's better than the other teams, but they're not as good as the top 3. So
Okay. Before we send it home today, quick little note. Phil Kessel is a 2-time Stanley Cup champion.
He is.
And what did he do today with the cup, guys?
the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
He ate hot dogs out of the cup.
Again.
On a golf
Again.
course.
So-
on a golf course, correct.
If this is not sticking it to Steve Simmons again for his hot dog cart made up story, then I don't know. This
what's
this is
hilarious?
just him being hilarious.
You know what's hilarious? Phil Kessel eats a ton of hot dogs and still looks good. Steve Simmons probably eats a ton of hot dogs and is huge.
Yeah.
So
Okay. If you want to find the show, connect to us. Follow us on Twitter at LastManInPC. You can also check us out on our YouTube page, Last Man in Podcast. Check us out there. You can email the show at lastmaninpc@gmail.com, as well as check us out on anywhere you get your podcast, whether that be through Google Play or through the podcast app on iTunes, and just search up Last Man in Podcast there. So thanks, guys, for watching or listening, and see you next week.